So one thing we do here is quite unique is we have a life skills program for children and kids. So we start every class with discussing different topics. As an example, one of the topics could be the definition of a champion, which means, for us, means which never to give up. Another topic might be definition of positive attitude, which is always doing your best. So anyway, we elaborate on that subject. We talk about it for 5 minutes, and then how can we apply that in our home, at school, and with our other activities like Kung Fu.
Okay, good morning. We are with James today from Great Way Martial Arts, and I am overwhelmed standing here in this space. We're gonna cut and show you a little bit more of it when we can here. But it's at 2243 Leckie Road, which is just across from Rusty's Sports Bar. And I want to say thanks a lot, James, for spending some time with us today. I had no idea such an amazing facility existed right here, and I'm actually super excited about this and can't wait to learn more about it. So thanks again for being here today with us.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Tell us a little bit about what you got going on here. What are we looking at?
What are we looking at? Well, we're looking at a Kung Fu school is what we're looking at, yeah. It's been about 25 years in the making to get it to where you see it today. And it started off, you know, just in a small little field house down in the Mission Sports Fields. No windows, a linoleum floor, and, you know, like 500 square feet. A couple of students 25 years ago, and now we got about 7,000 square feet of matted floor and lots of equipment, and, you know, full on schedule with, you know, teaching kids 4 years all the way up.
Yeah, so James, if you can talk about the schedule, because I know it's a fairly unique and flexible schedule.
Yes, we've tried really hard over the years to develop our schedule so it's accommodating for busy families and lifestyles. One aspect to it is that we have overlapping classes where siblings of different ages can come at the same time. Another aspect is if, because we have classes 6 days a week, that if you all of a sudden get your brand new soccer schedule or baseball schedule and you can't no longer make those days, we can easily switch your 2 days into 2 other days during the week without much problem whatsoever. Yeah.
And so you have been doing this in Kelowna for 25 years.
Yep.
How long have you been here in this location?
This year, I think we're coming into our 15th year at this location.
Okay,
yeah.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. So tell us, I know nothing about Kung Fu, and that's why I'm excited to learn about it. Tell us about sort of how it got started and what does it mean to you? Obviously, you're deeply entrenched in this.
Yeah, well, Kung Fu you know, started thousands of years ago, and it started in China, and it was started kind of out of a place of kind of peace and exercise. Buddha had come over to China, and he was trying to teach all the monks in China how to meditate. But they kept passing out and falling asleep all the time because they were so badly out of shape. Okay. So we started teaching them exercises to get more physically fit so they can stand the long durations of meditation and whatnot, and the things that he was trying to teach them. So from that, Kung Fu was born.
Okay, so it's not something that's born from combat, because I think that's maybe a common misperception that people have about it.
Yeah, Kung Fu is one of the ones that was not born out of conflict or combat. It was actually born from a place of peace, and it was just for the self. It wasn't, you know, for harming others.
Very cool. Yeah. And how did you get started in it personally? How does your journey look in that whole thing?
Yeah, so when I was a teenager, I was looking for a, you know, I was looking for a Wing Chun teacher because I had been exposed to Bruce Lee movies. I had an employer that was actually from Hong Kong, and he started teaching me some Kung Fu. I worked in a restaurant, and when we weren't busy, we'd go back, and we would train Kung Fu when we weren't busy. And he showed me Bruce Lee movies. So I got really enthralled with learning whatever Bruce Lee was doing. So my journey took me to Calgary eventually, where I was looking for a Wing Chun teacher, and I couldn't find one at the time, so I took up Shaolin Kung Fu, 5 animal styles, and studied that for a number of years, and then I finally found a Wing Chun instructor, and been basically with him ever since, so like 30 years now.
Crazy. So how does the level work in Kung Fu? Like, if I were to ask you, you know, what level are you at? Is there a ranking system in terms of, you know, where your skills lie, or how does that work? Sure.
Yeah. In the style we teach called Wing Chun, we have 10 different levels. The 10th level is the highest student level. So at level 10, we have 2 different level 10s. One's a student level 10 and one's an instructor level 10. They have 2 different tests they do.
Okay.
Student level 10, obviously, a little bit easier than the Sifu instructor level 10. Okay. So past that is the master level or red sash level. So there's 10 levels leading up to that level, and that's the level that I'm at.
Wow. Okay. So you don't want to mess with this guy, is what you're saying. No, that's awesome. So now tell us about in the community here. What can someone expect if they've never been to Kung Fu? How does it work? Because I know you do kids of all ages, right? And like, I mean, where's your age range? You must have young to, like, what's your range of people that you teach in here?
Yeah, well, we teach classes of, because the development stages are so different for children, right? We teach classes with 4 to 6 year olds because their development stage is different than 7 years and up.
Right.
So we have 7 to 11 years, and then we have our teen classes, so 11 to 12, 16 years old, and then we have our older teens and adult classes.
Okay, yeah. Right on. Do you find that it takes, like, you're obviously not alone, because it sounds like you have a ton of classes going on at all the time, so you must have a ton of support here.
We have a great team of instructors, yeah,
right
great team of instructors. We have about five full-time staff members, and then we have about, on average, 4 to 8 part-time staff members.
Wow, okay,
yeah.
So, I understand you do quite a bit more than just in here in this facility, and you do some things around Kelowna. Maybe you can talk a little bit about what those things are.
Sure, yeah. Well, right now, the last few years, because we've been teaching in the school district since probably the mid-90s.
Okay.
And as of late, the last few years, instead of going off to these individual schools, the Rotary Centre of the Arts has started a program where they invite schools to come to the Rotary Centre. And what they've done is asked us to be a part of that program. So now we teach the schools right at the Rotary Centre of the Arts. So we actually are there right now teaching. We were there yesterday teaching. So I have 2 instructors there that are teaching, 2 classes. They're there for probably about 3-4 hours, back-to-back classes. And we're there probably almost every week, at least 1 day per week, teaching Rotary Centre. So we almost have another school over there.
Okay, yeah. Wow. So you're a busy guy, for sure.
Yeah, we're there. We're also in other elementary schools. We were just at another school like 2 weeks ago. We have schools and daycares that actually come to our facility and do classes here. We're in the Canada Day events every single year. We've been doing that for close to 25 years. Fat Cat Festival for almost 25 years. Right?
So what would you say to somebody who's never tried Kung Fu or has never dabbled any kind of martial arts stuff? What would you say to them? What's awesome about this and what gets you amped up about it?
About our school or about Kung Fu in general?
Kung Fu in general, and just, like why would someone want to come here? Like if you were to tell somebody that has no knowledge of this world, saying,
right.
Why would they want to try it out and come and see you here?
I think because there's a stigma, I think, with martial arts that, number one, it's dangerous, or, I'm probably going to get hurt, right? It's intimidating. Most people say when they walk through the door that, they're really intimidated to come. They're really scared or fearful of coming to a martial arts school. But once they get here and they meet our staff, they go, I don't know what I was so scared about. Everybody's so friendly and the environment is so positive. And I think that's the one thing that I really try to instill with teaching to other people about why it's so special, is that the environment is just so positive, right? People are not judging you, you're not being bullied, people are always saying kind things, they're always asking how they can help you. Very nurturing, very supportive, encouraging environment.
Awesome, awesome. Well, just being in here, being in this facility, I'm already wanting to ask you a million more questions that we probably won't have time for at the moment. Yeah. But I'm blown away by this facility, and I know my team is as well. They're back here looking around going, wow, who knew this was in here? So thanks a lot for letting us do this with you. Lastly, we like to ask what you love about Kelowna. Are there any activities that you like to do when you're not doing your martial arts stuff? If for someone that's coming to Kelowna or new to Kelowna, what would you recommend that they get out and do as, say, a weekend activity? We'll start there.
Wow, there's so much to do in the Okanagan.
There's so much to do,
I think one thing would be to try and get out there and just kind of explore a different part of the Okanagan, whenever you can. Yeah. Because there's so much to see. We talk to families all the time that are, busy traveling here, and they got their next trip planned. I say, oh, well, have you seen?
I know.
And they go,
and they leave Kelowna before.
No, I've never seen that. Oh, what is that, right? And you're like, well, it's right here. Right?
Yeah, it's true. So many hikes and bikes and trails.
Exactly.
No, that's a good point.
And I love to golf.
Yeah, love to golf. Right. Yeah. Top golf course for you?
Well, top, I think one of them would be Tower Ranch.
Yeah. Every time I go there, I just lose all my balls, so that's why I don't go back. No. And lastly, what about somewhere to eat? Grab a bite to eat. What's your top on the list there?
Wow, in this time of year, there's a couple of really great patios that I really like right on the water. Oak and Crew is one of them. Yeah. I think Smack Dab is another one.
Yeah, very good.
And then we just recently went to the what's the name of that hotel? El Dorado.
El Dorado, yeah.
And they redid the patio, and that was quite nice, actually.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, that's great, James. Thanks again for taking the time to talk to us today.
You're very welcome.
And now you're going to have to show me some moves here.
All right.
Cool.